that vampire cloak, whether it's, you know, loose on you or whether it's tight.
Right and I said to my, I told one of my coworkers that, and he said, that sounds like directions to hang someone from the OK Corral. And I was like, you're not going where I thought you were with that.
Yeah, I actually have that on a card in my at my house. On it actually says if you find yourself at the end of the rope, hang on.
Yeah. Or start to swing and enjoy it. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like let go of your fear and.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's good. I got a few quotes for on fear. I love quotes anyway. Never confuse a single defeat with a final defeat. Can't even read my own bloody writing here. Never confuse a single defeat with a final defeat. F. Scott Fitzgerald. Robert Allen says there is no failure, only feedback. I really like that one. No failure, only feedback. And Napoleon Hill says every failure brings with it an equivalent seed of success. So, failure, we started out at the beginning like, oh, failure is this thing, but actually, failure is pretty cool, right? Because it has opportunities in it. So our fear of failing, now we know what our fears look like, right? We know how they feel, and actually our fears feel very much like our excited, so it's how we frame them. We can start looking at failure and what failure actually is, right? So the next part of it is, what's failure? What does failure mean to you? So let's have a quick brainstorm. What does failure mean to you? What does the word failure, what does it bring up?
Blame.
Blame.
Shame.
Whoa, shame. Loser.
Regret.
Whew. Regret.
Loss. Waste.
Futility.
Missed opportunity.
Oh, missed opportunity. Oh, yes. That one can be so big. Inaction. Yeah. Beautiful. I love how you guys are interacting. You're awesome. Just let me tell you that right now. You guys are awesome. Anything else?
Mine's usually associated with earning.
Earning?
Like you're not earning money. I don't know how to describe it.
Not enough?
Or at all.
And how does it feel?
Painful.
It's painful. Yeah. When you fail, do you want to share it with people? Do you want to tell people?
No. Secrets.
Secret. Oh yeah. That secret shame, isn't it? Mm-hmm.
Hollow.
Hollow. Because you're incomplete. Because there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Weren't good enough.
Not good enough.
I was just trying to finish your sentence.
Disappointing.
Yeah. Disappointing.
Regret. Failing makes you feel like a failure.
And who wants to feel like a failure?
Jealousy.
Jealousy. Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, yeah. Thank God you guys are wrong with me.
I didn't realize how much those two were connected till.
Yeah. There's some heavy feelings right there, right? I mean, the fear, we already looked and we go, okay, we have the fear. We can fear and excitement, they're pretty kind of the same, and we can start to embrace it. But these are some heavy feelings. And failure is described as a lack of success, is defined, sorry. I've run that one out now.
No way.
Well, maybe it's this one. No, I got the wrong one. Lack of success. And I'm going to take issue with that we can't fail again. Because if failure is by definition, and I'm an attorney here, or sorry, no, I'm not an attorney anymore. I'm not a practicing attorney here, but definitions.
Play one on TV.
So if failure is a lack of success, but in fact, if failure itself is on the road to success, how can we fail? Because failing is not a lack of success. Failing is on the road to success. Right, so you've got failure and your little fill in the blanks at the bottom. Failure is the blankety blank to blank. Blankety blank. I hadn't thought about that in a while. Did you remember that one?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't, seriously, I've not thought about that in years until I just said blankety blank blank. So failure is the next step to success. Fill that in. Yeah, it's not a test where you have to like work it out like a cryptic crossword.
Oh.
What the hell? I don't know what she wants me to write in here. I mean, it'll be anything. Don't worry, I'll give you those ones. You fill in the top ones, I'll help you fill in the bottom ones. But failure is the next step to success. So if failure is the next step to success, there can, by definition, be no lack of success, right? Because failure is one, by definition, is the next step to success. So we can say, oh, okay, goodbye. What did I do with it? No failure, because we're going to learn, or we have been learning, that failure is part of the success.
Wasn't there a story of, was it Edison that was saying that like 10,000 times tried to do the light bulb, and someone said, well, you'll fail 10,000 times, and he said, no,
Yeah.
I've successfully found 10,000 ways it doesn't work.
Yes, I love that. That's brilliant. Yes, I love that quote. He did say that. So 10,000, or as you said that, 10,000 times that he knew it was not a failure. He just had 10,000 ways of not doing it. So it's failure is how we look at it. It is perception. It goes back to the fear and the excitement, that feeling of racing heart, stomach, depends on what filter, how you are perceiving it, what your thoughts are doing with it. And we'll come to that. We'll come to how our thoughts are in there. Right? So why would it feel, if it's on the road to success, why should it feel painful, shameful, hollow, that you're not good enough? It should actually feel like you are on your way. Who here learned to ride? Who's a horse rider? Not many of us. Okay. So you got 3 of you learned to ride. When you were learning to ride, did your teacher ever tell you that you have to fall off X number of times to be a real rider? No? Okay. Mine did. So my teacher told us that we weren't real riders, me and my brother, until we'd fallen off 7 times. Right? Because she told us, and I was at the time, I don't know, like 7 years old, and I still remember this. She told us that real riders fall off. You can't fall off if you're not riding your horse. Huh? And your horse is not a car, so if you are riding a lot, even experienced riders will fall off. And so what she did was she actually made what could be seen by a failure. Me and my brother were very competitive, like, ha, you just fell off and I'm better than you. Except it became, oh shoot, he's like on number 6 and I'm only on number 4. He's closer to being a real rider than me. God damn it, I need to fall off more often. Right? Who says that? But that's how it is. We need to, if we're not falling down, we're not doing anything. Chances are, if we're not falling down, we're stuck in mediocrity. Chances are, we've probably got fears, probably got us paralyzed somewhere in the corner, eating a packet of cookies. And I keep referring to these cookies because I didn't show you earlier, but I didn't bring the projector, but if you can see, this was me at 24. So I got up to 212 pounds and all of that jazz. I haven't really bored you with my story before I changed my life. So I know a lot about fear having me distracted and really like making me into somebody that I was not on the inside, right? Because that's what fear does to us. It puts that cloak around us and takes away our shine. Okay, so having us in that corner, let me take a sip of water again. Woo! Okay, we're getting close. Alrighty. So we are conditioned that failure is shameful, right? And so that's what we want to reframe. That failure is not shameful, that it is the next step to success. Maybe so much can remember that one. The failure is so 3 or 4 down. Failure is a blankety blank, a powerful teacher. Take that in. So failure is not something to be ashamed of. Failure is something to embrace and to go, oh, hey, what's up, failure? Whew, what did we learn from that? Right? We might not like what happened, but we're going to learn something from it. Edison learned 10,000 times. Dyson learned 5,126 times. Right? They took something from it and took it to the next step. Right? So where can we do that? Where can we use it and see it as a powerful teacher so that when we see it, we don't go, holy shit. Well, we might still go, holy shit. But then we go, holy shit, okay. I'm going to use fear as my sword and not my shield. And I think that one's on your list too. Yeah.
Third one down.
Yeah.
Yes, I will use fear as a sword and not a shield. And that came out for me in a poem. I had a year of poems after I left law, so I guess kind of late to say who I am, but I was a corporate securities attorney when I came to America in 1999. You may have detected I got a bit of an accent. Not from here. So I've been here since 99, and I did come as a corporate securities attorney. Top of my game, was working with big law, and was, you know, very successful. But I was also working 100-hour weeks. I had no social life. I got up to 212 pounds, which is 85 pounds more than I am now. I was in hospital a couple of times a year, but by golly, I had made it. I call myself made in America, right? And how could I complain? Because I had it all. And so it looked from the outside, except I was empty and hollow. I was very, very fortunate to be gifted with almost dying in a house fire, and in my own bed one Sunday morning, and I managed to get through a flaming house, and we obviously survived, but everything that we had did not. And my law firm gave me a week off to put my life back together, find somewhere to live, find some clothes, you know, replace everything that was burned. We didn't have insurance, we were renters, so we lost everything, and there was no insurance check coming in even. But what it made me realize was, whew, it was a big whew. And then 2 days later, the World Trade Center happened. Now, I was in San Francisco, but this was here. So on the Friday, I had an epic 5 days. On the Friday, my friend had died. We used to do a lot of drugs together. We used to do a lot of drugs when I was an attorney. And he died of liver failure in England. On the Saturday, I had an accident in my friend's car going to a marathon training that I was doing for charity. And that was, ended up paying him like $650 for the damage to the car. Never had an accident before. On the Sunday, my house burned down with me in it. On the Monday, not much happened, and on the Tuesday, the World Trade Center came down. Stop the world! Stop! Stop! It just doesn't make sense. And so that's when I say, you know, that's where I faced my biggest fear, because I was very much my job. I was very much those external achievements. Right, and I just kept going for the next one. That's why I was in England and I did the New York bar. And then I came to California because I was that little go-getter. I was the pioneer going for the gold rush. I need to get here and go, oh my God, I don't really like this. And I knew that I didn't like it before the fire. But I couldn't get out. Right? I couldn't get out of that life. I'd made my bed, so now I had to lie in it. Until I had the fire. And then something happened. 3 months later, I walked out of that life. I didn't have any more plans. I didn't have any more money. I still had law school debt. I had no freaking clue what I was going to do. Except I wanted to know, could I be happy? Could I make a difference? And could I leave a positive footprint? Because as I nearly died, those were the things that seemed to be like, oh my God! Like, I'm not happy. Like I thought I was, but I'm not. And I don't know if happiness is available to me. And what's my place in the world? Most of us get to that point at some point. Like, it's all good doing your thing, but what's my place as the greater whole? There's a greater whole? Are you kidding me? Independence? No, interdependence. Wow. Mind-opening, right? And could I make a difference? And that's, you know, that's what those filters became. Those became my filters. And that's why I do the work that I do today. And that's the journey that I've had coming up to here. And realizing that quite often, from what we can see as our biggest failure, can come our greatest success. My biggest failure, which I have never, until today, shared, actually publicly, was failing the California bar. So I don't think anybody actually knows that. And I failed the California bar. And I was so ashamed. Oh my God. I just realized I still got my sunglasses on. For California. Yeah, I failed the California bar. It was a distraction, you see. It was like, sunglasses. You know, like that? It was just totally, see, like total subconscious. The subconscious is running us all the time, 45% of the time. Yeah, I failed the California bar. Now, I'd passed the New York bar, living in England, and then I was working in California and had to take the California bar. My firm had given me time off to study, and I couldn't study. I did not care. Just before the fire, I was like, I don't know what's going on with me. I don't know. I normally was so very focused on those things. And it turns out that they started to lay people off. at the end of 99, at the end of 2001, sorry. Never happened before in law firms. My name got brought up because I failed the bar and I needed to have January off to go resit it. I so did not want to resit it in January. You don't get your results till December. It's really rough. And when my partner told me that they were thinking about cutting me, I looked at him and said, let them. And he's like, what? No! And I was like, let them. I want to go. I want to leave. And he's like, are you kidding me? And I was like, no, I want to leave. And that's how I got out. December 31st, so September 9th was the fire, September 7th was the fire, and December 31st I walked out, made like a 2-month severance package, and but that was and I felt like such an epic failure. Still do in many ways, still do, just standing here saying, I failed that exam. But it's not who I am, right? And that's the thing with the shame makes it feel like it's who we are, right? But if I hadn't failed that exam, then I wouldn't have been looked at to be cut. Then I wouldn't have had that oh my God, actually, yeah, let's do this. That's exactly what I need. December 31st, I'm gonna, they're like, can you work January? I'm like, no, I want to do December 31st. I'm gonna, New Year's Eve, and so every New Year's Eve since 2001, I know exactly how I felt every single year, from walking in the office that last day in my suit, going up in the elevator going, I will never, ever enter a building in this role ever again. Yes. No idea what I was going to do. Totally afraid of all of that. But the fear of the failure on the other side was a lot less than the pain that I was in. Which the Anais Nin, if you heard that quote. And then the day came when the pains remained, closed tight in a bud, became more than the pain it took to blossom. Woo! That's what it became. So failure and fear gets us caught up in staying the same, right? But quite often that failure or something going wrong that we consider to be a failure can quite often be a blessing in disguise.
So I know what failure looks like, and I know what fear feels like. I have no idea what success is. None. I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at you saying, yeah, you are working as a lawyer in San Francisco, and I look at that like, oh my God, what kind of that was a success. Mm-hmm. There are all these things that I want to do with my life. I don't know if I get there if I'll be happy.
Yeah, well, that's the big thing. Well, it's getting there. So that's another class on the getting there to being happy, because that's.
Like, how do I know at that point? Is this success? Am I successful?
That's how it feels. Yeah. It's how you feel. That's the whole trying to make that distinction between what we're told. Going back to my story at the beginning about what I should wear.
Yeah.
What your perception of what you think should be. And then you're always striving for that. That's never going to make you happy because you're always being someone that you're not.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what fear does to us. Is fear makes us into, it takes away our personal unique light. Mm-hmm. And so it dulls us. And so then we're trying to fit in. Yeah. Except we don't fit in because we were born to stand out. So the more that we can say, you know what? I'm not wearing the speaker dress. I'm wearing the dress that I feel comfortable in because I got to stand here for an hour and I might get kind of warm because I do get kind of warm and all of those things.
Yeah.
And so it's actually sitting down and getting with yourself about what's important to you. It's having that fire moment for me. Like I thought all of those things were success too, and that was it was like a living nightmare to be honest. But it should have been. And this side is challenging. Yeah. There's challenges on both sides, except I can much more take these challenges. Yeah. And so getting actually a good segue into getting to know yourself, because that's what it's about, is where are these fears hiding? Where are they? Where can you fail? Where do you have a place where you can fail? Like my riding teacher, allowed us to fail, right? Told us it was part of the process. So because it's shameful, we don't share it, we don't have a place to practice it. So we don't even know what it feels like, because we try and run away from those feelings as soon as we get them, except that heart racing may actually be excitement. Before you come up to speak, the heart races and all of these things, you might be like, oh my God, I'm terrified, I'm going. No, it's adrenaline filling you up, right? It's what you need. It's that, like, you're on, babe. Like, you've got to stand up there. So it's the perception. And I'd like to spend, like, the next, say, we've got 5 minutes left. Woo! Just sharing with you ways that you can, a little bit about our online program, Get Your Happy Back, which is all about getting to know who you are, how you work. The mind is where's that quote? Is a trickster. Failure is a trickster with a keen sense of irony and cunning. It takes great delight in tripping one when success is almost within reach. Right? So the reason I created this online group is because I wanted a place for people to be able to fail. I wanted a place for people to be able to try things, be supported, and to make changes in small ways. The thing is, our mind is running us, right? We already know that. We've been talking about that. It's the mind, it's the subconscious, right, that's running us. And we don't have a place, we're ashamed of failing, so we don't have a place where we can fail. We want to do things, we want to try things, but we don't have support. So what if you could start learning learning about your mind through making little changes? One of the biggest changes we tell people to make is start to drink water. You give your mind a task to do for 40 days. We do 40-day practices. And then you watch it. And you watch it squirm out. It's like, oh no, you don't have time to drink water. And it takes like a couple of seconds. We have clients set alarms, and that's what they'll say. They set an alarm from 9 to 5 every hour because they forget to drink water. So set an alarm. They set their alarm, and then, oh my God, I didn't have time. My alarm went off, and I shut it off. Like, yeah, I don't have time right now. I'll get it next time. And so when you start to see that, you start to see how your mind gets out of things. This year, I started a fasting and feasting. And what I learned was that on my fasting days, all I want to do is eat. That's all I want to do. And on my feasting days, where I can eat whatever the hell I want, I really can't. I'm not really hungry. It might be 2 o'clock before I have my first thing to eat. Yeah, the day before I was like really starving. Do you want to give up the papers? And so, but what I learned from that is how we do one thing is how we do everything. So it's not just on the days it's not just on my food days, my fasting days, that I want to eat when I can't. What it's telling me is I want what I can't have. And then when I can have it, I'm not really bothered. Do you think that only plays out in my food? No. So what we do in Get Your Happy Back is we talk about how the mind is running us, but we go into practice. It's a place where you can actually practice failing and be supported. Because when we fall down, we get back up, which is actually on your list too at the bottom. It's not how I fall down, but how I get back up.
That one I've used a lot.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? The beautiful thing about getting back up is that when you get back up, you're stronger than when you fell down. Every single time. So every time you fall down, you can actually celebrate falling down because you know that when you rise back up, you're stronger than when you fell. Every single time. And we don't break. Many of us don't break, so we can fall down. I have a friend who does break, so she shouldn't fall down, but most of us look like we can fall down and not break. So if you want to, I'd love to stay in touch with you. Gosh, we're at the top of our hour. We'll send you a free gift if you'd like to stay in touch with us. It's called Love More, Stress Less, and Feel Better. It's an hour of me on audio. It's not video, that one. And then Get Your Happy Back. Oh, for today's price is generally it's $3.97, and we're running it right now at $1.97. But for the beautiful people of work, it is $1.47. So you register today, and we can do that with you afterwards. And then if you have any feedback, you can pop that in the bottom. And I think possibly, because I'm at the top of my hour and I want to keep you all on time, that's it from me. I'll be around for questions if anybody's got any questions. And I just thank you so much for giving up your Friday lunchtime and for joining us. I'm really, really delighted that you all came. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was very entertaining too. I have to say, right?
Yay! I said it was going to be fun, so then that's like, oh my God, what if it's not fun? I've got a fear of failure!
I like everything made fun too.
Yeah.
Thank you all for coming. Thank you for your membership, for your $10 at the door if you're not a member. If you love these classes and you come frequently, you might be interested in checking out our Friends of Work membership.
Yeah, for sure.
Up next week, along a similar topic, is Design Your Life, Grow Your Business. So come back next week and definitely check out She's program. I'm very excited about that. So, thank you all. Yay. And the room is available if you guys want to sit around and chat and, talk personally with her. That'd be great.
Oh, so it's a lifetime program. We said that, so it's 5. And what we do is there are 5 levels every process. Oh, yeah. Changing habits every day. So sorry about that. And then we have 4 40-day seasons in the beginning. So that's when you get the so in that time, private business, that's when you can say, next time I say,
oddly enough, I'm now freelance. But that's my question. But yeah, that kind of had me rethink things now. Wait a second. I was actually gonna maybe tell that
Like that was a
and
literally,
I can give you the website for free.
and we had to she had to get shot because
Everybody's on the same journey. It's like, it's the only time you're gonna speak in public where people are.
even though sometimes you
They actually want to.
lost you to sleep.
Everybody's going through the same thing. This is
Yes. So what it is just what's your name? Sorry. Learning about your habits. And then there's 40 days. That's the practical. So during those times, economics
yeah, right.
I gave up after.
My first thing and then my first I didn't.
Some of us are not
We are creative.
And anything that's not society today.
It could be things
These are the ones that seem to be thriving or whatever. And so we want to be part of it. How do I do it? So like Shannon, we have a conversation.
You get to see how big the task
Not
is.
necessarily.
But
Yes, but if you have feelings and shit to get past.
So I thought it was nice.
Creating stuff from your heart and people
That's all right.
that's where you're going to be.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't know if that's a very strange thing popped into my head. It's like they had the Simpsons movie. They had the comic book guy who was just like overweight, and he was like, the world is about to end, but they're all about to be blown up. And he goes, a life spent collecting, I spent my life collecting comic books and tiny card things. A life well spent, he said, with a big smile on his face.
Nice.
It's like, a life well spent.
One Woman Revolution.
And you know, and that's, you know, and that's, I mean, that's the best thing you can do for kids. Revolution, just give them to be themselves. Because I felt like when I was in school, I was trying to be like everybody else. We're all taught the same, we're all told that we should have these certain type of American rules. And you're not doing that, then you're somehow afraid.
It's almost better if you get into something, take a step back. To then say, I don't want to do that.
You gotta learn for yourself.
What else? So yes, it's really those.
You have to take the job that's there.
Right,
You have a certain obligation to like survive and maybe compete with someone else. And so you sometimes have to do the crappy stuff. But there comes a certain point where it's like, what am I doing? this really what it's about? And then you start looking at it, and ultimately it ends up being one of
now that's all
so
about
how do you give yourself to others? And that's what I think is part of it.
I mean,
So that it's not a something, you know, internal looking, it's externally looking.
and that's, you know, like, if you look at the millennials that are the way they shop, it's exactly.
I just have to
It's
do
like,
it.
well, I want to do my thing, but I want to wear it. I don't want to be like my parents just sitting in my job for 30 years. And you're
I think
successful,
that it's
you know,
multifaceted.
externally, you know, all the
Honestly,
things
and I don't think that it's, I think if you
Right.
did like one
Right.
direction, I think you could definitely
I
go
get the
back
shit.
to
I
one
know, we want
area.
that first.
I think, because you just think about people that have this realization when they're even like
This is a real
65,
realization,
or
like,
do something new, they totally can,
also
like
have
at any age, you can
like
reinvent yourself, so I wouldn't be fearful.
Well, you know,
one of them is this wonderful thing that when I was like,
I mean, and it's gonna, you know,
part of it is
it's
this,
gonna happen because, like I said, it's just right. So
blindness to, it takes a whole lot of work.
Yeah.
Is that
I
no,
can't avoid it.
it's hard work. You don't know what hard work
Well, I
is.
have a master's degree.
You gotta work your ass off
So,
to do
I mean,
shitty
like,
stuff.
it was kind of one
And
of
then
those
eventually,
should I still do
Well, maybe, you know,
at this point in my life where
maybe
I'm like, great.
maybe what's happening is they're
Should I be back? Let me
recreating
just turn the camera off.
the
Because it's still
pyramid.
like
And so what